there is a bill in the Philippines that people should be made aware of. It is a very dangerous bill. I'm not sure who wrote it, but I think it's extremely stupid. It is probably Chinese-backed bill. Sometimes I think that the NBI really needs to do background checks on some senators and congressmen here. Some of their pro-Chinese stances are very suspicious to me, and it should be suspicious to a lot of people. So the senator here, she warns against a bill allowing 100% foreign ownership of public utilities. This includes the water, electric, and cable. So basically, it's going to allow China to come in. This is not a bill for America. This is not a bill for Japan or even Australia. This is 100%. When they say foreign ownership, they mean China. Like I already warned a lot of people, China already plans on passing laws when it comes to the Philippines. And now the Philippines are trying to hand ownership over to them on their public utilities that the Filipinos depend on, like water, electric, and cable. Right? This also would include road structure, telecommunications of all sorts, including the towers. So let's go ahead and read the article. Senator Riza Hontiveros, if I said that right, please forgive me, I'm not the greatest name reader, has issued a warning against the bill amending the Public Service Act, which includes provisions allowing foreigners to gain 100% ownership of public utilities. She made the statement as Senate debated on a Senate Bill 2094, which seeks to amend the Public Service Act, right? So she says, in the quotes, if foreigners allowed 100% ownership of our public utilities, it will pave the way for China to own and have full control of crucial infrastructure in this country. Now, there is a growing support. Some of the diehard Duterte fans, I know Duterte lost a lot of fan support, including me, over his extremely knee-padding stance when it comes to China in the West Philippine Sea, right? He is very dual-tongued, double-edged tongue. The Bible warns against people like him. She added that the China may use this leverage against the Philippines on territorial dispute. So basically, they'll come in and they'll threaten to cut everything off if they don't, give way to what China wants. They'll cut off the water, electric, internet. They don't give a damn. You're going to give us what they want. You're going to become a province of the Philippines. And I think that any senator that votes for this act really needs to have a background check done on them. Really needs a background check done on them. I mean, they really need to be watched. And it's right. China does not cease its incursions on Philippine Sea. Might as well not even say West Philippine Sea. Just say Philippine Sea, Philippine territory. And yet we are giving them ways to procure the infrastructure inside this country. They are getting our resources from our own seas, not even allowing Philippine fishermen to fish on their own seas. Even though the Philippine government insisted that they can go out there and fish, they can't. They're not letting them. They're taking their equipment. They've done it before. Matter of fact, Philippines is the only country around Southeast Asia that has not yet confiscated any Chinese fishing boats and sunk them, not taken any Chinese coast guards. The Philippines is the only country that hasn't done that yet, right? And they're too busy trying to be friends with China, and China is not interested in being friends. And that's the thing that Filipinos need to understand. Chinese do not care about being friends. They know that you're friendly, and they're going to use that against you. They don't care. And anybody thinks otherwise is not fully educated, and they need to get educated, okay? Including industries that the SB 2094 plans to open up for the 100% foreign ownership in the telecommunications and transportations. So we have vital national security interests that should never be compromised. Should never be compromised. We should heighten restrictions on foreign ownership as China approaches on West Philippine Sea escalates, not make it easier for them. And she's absolutely right. A very brilliant statement. Earlier, she voted against the franchise of Manau Islamic Telecommunication Corp, known as Dido Communication Corp. And Dido, a lot of people don't know, it is Islamic controlled. And I know a lot of people went to them. A lot of people went to them because sometimes it's frustrating in the Philippines, especially with Globe. Anybody ever has Globe knows that if you make a phone call, it's only going to last about 7 minutes before it hangs up on you. It's just automatic. You're only going to get a 7-minute phone call in the Philippines, right? And I know with Sky Internet here that I have, I had problems with their customer service. They've been changing our payment dates and making it earlier so they could fit an extra payment in a month. And, they done a lot of sneaky things. So far as like trying to video in the Philippines, I have high-speed internet, but the ping is awful. And one of the things that people don't talk enough about is customer service in the Philippines. So handing things over to China is not going to be a solution, that's for sure. So the lawmaker also reiterated the need to address the national security concerns of DDoS operations in China's 40% stake. So they already own 40% stake in the National Grid Corporation in the Philippines, right? We are not yet assured about the threats posed by the operations of DDoS. So they allowed this to happen. They passed the bill, but they didn't do a threat assessment. Anytime you pass a bill, especially that kind of nature, you need to do a threat assessment. It is absolutely necessary, right? And sorry about that, my dog. Let's see here. So when you do a threat assessment, it lets you know the level of threat that a certain company or certain backer financial imposes on your government. A certain kind of risk. You could do, it could be all kinds of things when you do threat. Like if you're going to open up a new water company, you need to assess the threat, the risk of the water, the rivers, how low would the rivers go, the threat to the environment. So when you do electric, you do the same kind of things. So along with that, you do security. What kind of national security are we at risk for? What kind of independence can we hope to keep? So these are all things that should have been discussed before the bill passed. This is a complete failure of the Philippine Senate and the Philippine Congress, if you want to call them that, in their judgment of this, right? So likewise, filed a resolution calling for the probe of national security implications of the alleged agreement allowing Digital Company Corp to set up equipment and facilities within military bases, and that's what they're talking about. They did not do a threat assessment, so they let China come in and allow China to build communication systems in the bases in the Philippines, and a lot of people didn't agree with that. Unfortunately, only a few people agree with that, and that was the decision makers, and it was a very poor judgment on their part, extremely poor. You don't even, in my opinion, you don't even let America come in and build your communication systems. That's something you should be able to do on your own. I mean, that's not a very hard thing to do. Anybody's ever installed cable knows it's not a very hard thing to do, right? But unfortunately, she's right about this whole bill. So she voted against it last time and it passed. Unfortunately, I think this bill is going to pass, and there might be some severe repercussions to this. And you senators that are going to vote for this, you're going to have to listen to the heat coming from this, because something bad happens. Everybody's going to remember who you are, and you're going to have to take responsibility for your actions. Anyway, thank you for watching Joe's Corner. Have a nice day.